Welcome to Parks and Pixie Dust Podcast.
Jess, what's up? Look at this explosion.
It's you redlined it already.
It's funny. You say Johnny, and then he's John.
We got Jonathan today.
Welcome back, fan favorite Jonathan.
Yes, we are. So everybody, welcome Parks and Pixie Dust Podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome to our pod. We are so excited because we have not had a guest on at all this season.
Yeah, after we talked about having all these guests.
Yeah,
on.
And
shoot,
it sounded like a wet one, but anyways.
F-deuce. Oh.
Anyways, so we've got Jonathan, one of our fan faves.
Welcome back.
Welcome back, Jonathan. Thank you for coming on. So Jonathan used to be with the Disney College program, so we had interviewed him. We did a 2-part last season of that, which was so much fun. But this episode, we want to talk about, he's very bougie. He's a DVC member.
Yeah, that's a hell of an intro.
Yeah, Jonathan is a Disney Vacation Club member, and that's something that Steve and I have been intrigued about just because, and I know you're intrigued too because we all love to go, and so we just kind of want to know what are the benefits, what are the perks, what's it all about.
Yeah.
So take it away. I know that your parents have had a membership and now you have your own. So let's start with talking about your parents.
Sure.
Let's do it. Go.
Yeah. So way back when, I have family in Florida, so we used to go down there all the time and just vacation, and then we would commute to Disney. We were those very working class folk, and had to commute like an hour each way. So imagine doing that after an 11 o'clock fireworks show. Right.
Are you a rope drop family too?
Oh yeah. Like I mean, come on, we were
your Disney family.
We were a Disney family. We were working class. Like you got there when it opened, and you left when it closed.
Yep,
absolutely.
Yep.
So then commuted an hour back to your aunt and uncle's house. So,
oh man.
So one year, my mom was always like, "Oh, wouldn't it be cool if we just stayed on property?" And we were like, "Yeah, it would be really cool." Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So I was in middle school or elementary school, about to be in middle school, and we stayed on property for the first time. And the only reason I remember it is because I was on the computer printing out back when you had a home printer. Yeah. I was printing out hotels and rates and being for the nice cheap rate of $500 a night, you can stay at the Grand Floridian.
Yeah.
At the time, not having any concept of money. Being
sure.
Right. But
where did you stay?
We ended up staying at the Polynesian.
Nice.
That's my jam. Because
that's Johnny's jam.
When you present people with 4 options, and 3 of them are the Grand Floridian, Contemporary, and I forgot the other one.
Fort Wilderness?
No, it was not Fort Wilderness.
Oh, okay.
No.
If you had told my dad there was campgrounds in the cabin, we would have been there in a heartbeat. So thank God.
Oh,
don't listen to this, Jonathan's dad.
Yeah.
Thank God 6th grade Jonathan had foresight.
Yeah.
But so we ended up staying at the Polynesian and just had the best time.
Yep.
It was one of those, we weren't big, huge, schedule every moment of Disney.
Okay.
And we were for a little bit, but we're not so much anymore. But, we rode all the transportation everywhere, buses, monorails, boats, because we were at the Polynesian.
Yep.
And just, that's when we first learned about extra magic hours by the person checking us in at the counter.
Sure.
So we have my sister, me, and my youngest brother wasn't even alive yet.
Okay.
We were at Magic Kingdom till 2 a.m. in the morning. And it was just
dang.
Those were the best.
It was just the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And this was also 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So the parks were pretty empty too.
Parks were pretty empty, and they also had roaming characters at the night. A lot of stuff had it. A lot of stuff that people miss about old Disney.
Yes.
Was still around in extra magic hours.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we just had a ball.
Yeah.
And so I'll never remember it. Last day, we were checking out, or going to be checking out, and then going to spend time with aunt and uncle because we weren't commuting an hour each way, so we still had to go see our family and stay with them.
Yep.
And at the time, if y'all remember, they were running that marketing campaign where it's follow us to DVC or best kept
when it was
secret or
starting,
whatever,
just becoming a thing,
or it was becoming more of a thing.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Because do you know how long it's been around?
The 90s. Old Key West, I think, was built in either the late 90s or early 2000s, but I want to say it in the 90s.
Okay. Wow.
But they really didn't start blowing up until 15 years ago.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So finally, my mom being the inquisitive person, last day they have those kiosks in Disney Springs and the parks.
Yes.
There was one in the lobby of the Polynesian, and she's like, okay, what's the best kept secret, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's this.
Yeah.
And so, like any well-oiled Disney machine, they say like, yeah, you can go, we can like, give you a tour of like the units, blah, 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 introduce you to Saratoga Springs, but at that point had just been like very recently built and was only like a third of the size of it is currently. And then like, we'll drive you over there. We'll give you a tour. We'll sit down and discuss all the details. We can do like lunch and ice cream, and then they'll drive you back to Polynesian and drop you off.
Dang.
And like at the time, like looking back at it, like so few of our vacations now have like this just spontaneous time where we can
for
like,
sure.
Yeah, let's go on like a 3-hour like DVC like
Absolutely,
introduction.
Yeah. Right.
And so like my mom like, on her old like Motorola like flip phone called my aunt and was like, hey, we're gonna be a little later than we thought we were, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And so we went, and like literally the rest is history. Like we went and like signed up like that day.
Dang.
Wow. Yeah. And
Really
so my parents bought into Saratoga.
Cool.
Back when it was like much more affordable.
Sure.
And we've been going at least every other year since.
Wow.
And, we were always like huge Disney fans, and Disney like families loved the Orlando area.
Yeah.
Especially because we had family down there. We would always be vacationing down there. My mom's immediate family vacationed a lot in Orlando. So did my dad's. My dad's family had a timeshare like in Orange Lake, if you're familiar with that, nearby Disney.
Okay.
So like it just made sense.
Yeah.
And especially like the age we were at, we were like late elementary school, middle school, and
Yeah.
then my brother came 10 years after me.
Okay.
It was just like we were there every other year.
Yeah.
If not every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes up for it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there a reason why Saratoga? I'm sorry.
Yeah. So the main driving reason was that 50-year requirement they have. So when they open up a new property like Riviera that they just opened, right?
Yep.
They have a bunch of like pre-sales where they have like fake units, like similar to any kind of like home or show that you would go to.
Sure.
They give you a little tour, and they show you the map and all like the wonderful now digital like renderings or whatever. And when they open, from that day you have like 50 use years.
Okay.
And so when you're going to buy directly from Disney, because like the actual cost at the time, the cost of the points didn't fluctuate depending on where you were buying. Now they actually run promos where like Hawaii might be slightly cheaper than like Grand Floridian, or will be slightly cheaper than like the brand new like California one they just put up.
Oh yeah.
So the idea was like you're paying the same amount of money, so you might as well get like the longest period contract you could get.
Okay.
And at the time, Saratoga had just opened up, so like my parents bought like a 49-year contract. And that's also just like very unique to Disney. Like their timeshares do expire after 50 years.
Wow.
And I think we're coming up like in year like 25 soon.
Wow.
So like it'll be interesting to see like in the next 20 years like what happens with like if they get first in line to like rebuy or are they just like given another 50 years. In typical Disney fashion, I'm sure we'll find out like in 20 years. But
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was the reason for Saratoga.
Okay.
That was the main reason. The secondary reason was we were not a plan everything a year in advance kind of family at the time.
Okay.
So there's a home, what they call a home window.
Like a home resort or something.
Home resort window versus like a rest of the DVC property window. And if for your home resort, like where you physically own your timeshare, because you are like a deeded like owner,
Sure.
you can book at the 11-month window, what they call, so 11 months out from your arrival date.
Okay.
If you want to book any of the other resorts that are in the DVC portfolio that you don't own at, it's 7 months.
Okay.
So we were more of like the family that were just like, oh, like we don't do that, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So we're not concerned about like where we own, because we're not ever going to be concerned about the 11-month window.
Okay.
Because you weren't necessarily a plan in advance family, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Very much so. It was very much like a month or two in advance, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So then you were okay if maybe something wasn't available, you'd just go somewhere else.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Okay. Gotcha.
Totally.
Okay. Cool.
And like generally we weren't traveling in like the most busiest times of the year. Like there are like the crazy Disney nerds that are down there for like Christmas and like Thanksgiving and like that. We were just down there like at some point in the summer.
Yeah.
And at that time it was even like into high school, there was always enough weeks where we could find something where it was like, okay, that's fine. Like July, August, whatever.
Sure. Okay.
So that was like the main driver for Saratoga.
Yeah.
Now they price, I think, points, I believe. I haven't looked in a while because.
Right.
But they price points like based on like where you're buying. So I believe Riviera is like more expensive than like purchasing like a obviously like a reduced contract like Beach Club or something.
Sure.
But yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. So you guys then, like you said, you essentially went pretty much every year.
At least every other year.
Okay. So
If not
where
every
all
year.
did you stay?
So we've stayed at Old Key West. Saratoga. We've stayed at Animal Kingdom, both in the main Jumbo house and like the Kidani Village, which is like the dedicated. For my 30th birthday, I got a 3-bedroom Savannah View.
No big deal.
Nice.
And had my family come down with me, and had my aunt and uncle come up for a couple of days. And my mom still talks about, my younger brother still talks about like the pool table that was in the room. And then like my mom would talk about like just like coincidence, like the hall that we were on, the fence that they let the animals in through every morning was like right outside our balcony.
Oh,
Cool.
sweet.
So she would wake up and have coffee and like watch them come in the morning.
Just
Oh
watch
my
the march
God.
of the animals.
Yeah. And then like at dusk, when they were like about to like leave for the day,
Yeah.
they would all start assembling because they must have like fed them afterwards or something, but they would all start like huddling there. And so like it was just really cool.
Oh my God.
That's
So we stayed
amazing.
there. We're staying at Grand Floridian next year. We haven't stayed there yet.
Okay.
And like I said, like we mostly stayed at Saratoga or Old Key West. Something else to consider is like depending on which resort you're staying at, like the points per room can fluctuate.
Sure.
So like Grand Floridian in general is going to be more expensive than Saratoga and Old Key West.
Right.
And we were more of like we want, as long as we can get like timed wise and day wise versus like we have to stay at
Okay.
somewhere.
Okay. Gotcha.
So-
I wasn't sure how that works. Yeah. Okay. So you wanted to have more time there
On vacation.
rather than the fancier place per se.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily
Okay.
like fancy or not. It's like sometimes it's just like newer.
Sure.
So like
Okay.
So like Riviera
Yeah.
costs more points per night for a studio room than Old Key West.
Okay. I
Now,
gotcha.
I think in the last like 5 years, like Disney's done a better job of like differentiating them.
Sure.
But like the Old Key West, like the room like layouts are really weird because it was the
Okay.
first one built.
Okay.
And then they realized like, oh yeah, people aren't buying DVC because they want like an eclectic, unique vacation home experience. They're just doing it because it's Disney.
Yeah.
And so now all of them are very much like cookie cutter, like rectangle rooms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But like one of the benefits to like Old Key West is you can get like a 1-bedroom that has like a king bed in the room, the queen pull out, the twin pull out, and you probably still have room for like another full on like queen inflatable bed in the living room area.
Oh, dang.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
just the square footage is just a lot bigger.
Wow, cool.
So-
Okay. So with being a DVC member, are there any perks with park tickets?
Yeah, there are, but like they're generally not amazing.
Okay.
And the last time I called or like even looked into it, like because we don't like do like 6-day park hoppers anymore. We're very
Right.
much like maybe like a 1 or 2 park
Sure.
family.
Okay.
Now that we're up there in age, but we'll see when if that
So
changes.
seasoned.
Yes, like we don't need to like especially when I was working down there, like it was so nice to be like, oh, it's like noon, y'all want to like go like ride a couple rides,
Yeah.
watch fireworks.
Yep.
Or like even better, like watch fireworks and do all like the shows one day and then like go back the next day and like ride all the rides and everyone's like watching fireworks.
Yes.
Yeah. So
That's cool.
but like yeah, so there are some perks, but they're not like on like the single day tickets.
Okay.
And like I believe the last time I looked, there's some websites out there that have them even cheaper.
Oh, okay.
So like the quote unquote perks that you get for being a DVC member
Yeah.
are not like should not be the main reason you're signing up to become a DVC
Okay.
member. And Disney had like flat out in your contract says like these benefits can change at any time for any reason.
Yeah.
Sucks to suck, whatever. Sorry.
And what
know.
kind of benefits? Like you said, like 10%
Yeah,
off
so
dining.
you
type
get
of
like
thing?
it's like a small dining discount. You get
Sure.
a small like what are they called? Merchandise discount.
Sure.
There's some like they call them like rest stops or like cool down areas like in the parks, but it's like water and bags of chips. So it's like it's not something like that you're gonna like make a point to be like I need to go there.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, some discounts, but like nothing. Like I said, like nothing like crazy.
Yeah. Well, even I have the Disney credit card, and I get
Oh,
like
yeah.
10% off. Which,
Well, you could probably enjoy those lounges too, right? Same as like the DVC.
They used to have like a Chase like photo pass area.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I haven't even noticed, but I know I
yeah.
get like a percentage, like a 10% discount on merch or something, but I
Right.
rack up that card, man. And basically the 10% is like, you don't pay tax.
Oh.
So it's whatever. But anyways,
Right. Exactly. So,
so
like
it's not much,
they're
you know,
not. So it's
Yeah.
nothing like crazy.
substantial. Yeah.
Right. And then they have now, because of like the resale market, like
Yeah.
anybody that buys resale like doesn't get those discounts anymore or perks.
Oh,
So like
okay.
it's one of those things that literally they could change it all tomorrow and like you have no recourse.
Ah.
So it's not something I would ever tell anybody like, oh, you definitely need to buy it because of that.
Okay, so that wouldn't be the reason. So what would
sure.
be your reason to buy it? What type
Yeah.
of family?
That's a good question.
Yes.
So like from my perspective, if you're going to be going to Disney like once every other year,
Yep.
maybe once every 3 years, and you might on a smaller contract for like a substantial amount of time, you probably would benefit from like investing in it upfront.
Okay.
Because essentially what you're doing is you're just paying upfront for future vacations.
Okay.
There are annual dues.
Yep.
But like when you consider, and like, you know, speak to your favorite financial friends, when you consider inflation and rising costs in general, like your annual dues are going to pale in comparison to like what it's going to cost to go to Disney in 20 years.
Okay. So it's a locked in rate.
The annual dues are not. But like compared to like some of the horror stories you hear online, like I've never seen like a larger than like a $20-$30 jump year to year.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
It's not terrible.
Yeah.
So it's not like the annual, like I know some timeshares, like it's like super predatory and they're like, you now owe $10,000 in annual fees. And it's like, well,
bye.
Can someone buy my timeshare for $1?
Right.
So I never have experienced that. You know, maybe if there's like a really bad like hurricane or something and they need to like do like an HOA fee to put a new roof on or something.
Sure.
Or some like large unexpected expense. But in general, I've found like the annual dues never like spike anything crazy.
Oh, that's good.
And like you get a pamphlet too every year of like, here's how much money's in savings. Here are like the capital outlay for the next 10 years and how much we expect it to cost. And here's what we anticipate the cost being. So like, it's back to your original question, like the only time I would advise people to do it is if you want to go do Disney specifically. Yes, you can trade out for other timeshares through their exchange program. Yes, you can use your points on like the cruise line or like Disney hotels that are not like vacation club homes.
Like overseas too, like
overseas
Paris,
as well.
Tokyo.
But in generally those are like terrible redemptions. So like you really should use them for the DVC resorts now that they have one in Disneyland.
Right.
I'm really hoping one day they open them in like Paris and Tokyo. But like for now it's just Florida, Disney World, Disneyland, and then they have some resort in Hilton Head and Vero Beach.
Okay.
Which Hilton Head and Vero Beach were built probably like as a close follow-up, like if they were not like second and third, they were like fourth and fifth. They're great resorts. We've driven by and like toured the Hilton Head one and the Vero Beach one, but like, you know, there's no Magic Kingdom. There's no, so it's just like different.
That was kind of something like to kind of steer away from like DVC for a second.
Yeah.
That was something like, you know, some family members of mine were just like, why would we go to Disney in Hawaii when there's no parks there? Obviously, it would be beautiful to go to Hawaii and stay at a Disney resort. But for example, Vero Beach or Hilton Head, what is like the main draw to go there?
I think they were and like you'd have to like, you know, talk to the marketing person.
Sure.
You know, I don't know.
And that's not you?
It's not me. No. My gut like always thought, and like based on like kind of some of the things I've read online too, is they assumed like, hey, not every year people are gonna come to Disney. I think if you ask them now, they're like, no, every year we expect them to go to Disney.
Yeah.
So they're like, where else could we like build resorts that people might be interested in going? And it was like, oh, the beach. Oh,
okay.
This Hilton Head place. Oh, Hawaii.
Yeah. And if it has Disney in the name, they'll come.
Possibly.
Maybe.
And I have to like, I have been to the Hawaii one. I forgot.
The Aulani?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was nice.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that. And like,
oh, come on.
But like
come
very
on. Start over.
But like but very, very different experience than Disney World.
Disney World.
For sure.
Land,
Have you been to Land?
Have I been to where?
Disneyland?
Yes.
Okay.
I've not been to like their DVC properties, but yes. I've been to Disneyland.
Gotcha. So
but that's just like a different beast. Right?
I know.
It's completely different.
Yes.
Love it.
So
of the resorts that you stayed at as a child, what was your favorite?
when I was a kid, we were doing like a park every other day, right? So like it's
hard to say.
Like not even like hard to say. Like there's just like we weren't going down there for the resorts,
right?
We were just like, and especially at the time, right? Like we were staying on property, so like especially after we did like that first Polynesian stay, we could do extra magic hours. We could take advantage of the transportation. Then in like subsequent years, you get free parking to like park your car at a DVC resort, which like okay, cool. And then in subsequent years, like you actually get free parking like out of the parks and everything. So you could actually just drive. They would, you would have a parking pass. Now they scan your Magic Band. So you're staying at DVC and you don't have to pay for parking. So like, especially when we go back with like my niece, like if my sister or whomever wants to go back to like the car and like either go back to the hotel or just like hang out in the parking lot for a little bit and like take a nap. Yep. You can do that. So
nice.
Versus that first trip where we like bust and monorailed like everywhere.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
It is nice.
But yeah, so like I don't have like a favorite memory from any of them. It's just like Saratoga, and like we spent a lot of time at Saratoga and Old Key West. Yeah. And again, because like we wanted to spend more time, so we stayed at like the quote unquote cheaper places.
Sure. Okay.
But we still ate. You could back in the day you could do dining plan, and you qualified for that staying with DVC. So cool. we way back in the day. This is a fun story. Little like high school Jonathan did the math.
Oh crap!
So the dining plan back in the day was actually like a pretty good deal.
Okay.
Right. So like I think at the time it was like $50 or $60.
Okay.
And you got a snack, a quick service meal, and a sit down meal every day. Plus like those reusable mugs that you could do like coffee, tea,
sodas and stuff. Yeah.
And it was like $50 or $60 a day. And so like we would always eat on property, and like but we'd also go like to nicer restaurants. And so like we did the math and like figured out based on like how many points of like dining points we were using, because some of the high end restaurants we tried to usually go to like one every week. It was like 2 points versus like the one. So like we, even though there was only like 4 or 5 of us there, we would put other people in the room so we could pay like the discounted dining cost because that person was in our group, quote unquote. But like it was just so that we could get like extra dining credits for like cheaper.
Nice.
We have memories of like going to like Narcoossee's in Grand Floridian, and they had a surf and turf like filet and lobster tail. And see, the thing is, like when you go to these restaurants, you get can I swear on this thing?
Oh.
As soon as I like looked at you and asked, I was like, "That was a stupid question."
Do you know where you're at right now?
You get a ton of food. Okay, so when you sit down, everyone gets an appetizer.
Damn.
Everyone gets a main. Everyone gets a dessert. Everyone gets a non-alcoholic drink.
Oh, sweet.
Okay, so like everybody doesn't care. It doesn't matter if it's your like 80-year-old grandma who's gonna eat like 2 bites. So like everybody gets a full-blown meal.
Yeah.
And so like we would at the end of our trip, like especially if, like for snacks, we would have to go to like the hotel, and like the hotel like in the DVC resorts, their gift shops also like half of them are dedicated to like, I'll call them household goods.
Okay.
But it's like almost like a mini like grocery store where you can buy donut holes, cereal, milk.
Nice.
We still go to like Kroger and especially Publix. # Publix,
that's
like,
cheating.
Off because it's way more affordable.
Yeah.
But
yeah, for sure.
But like you could, so we would like on our last day have to go use up all our snacks. So we would go and buy like especially when we were driving, we would go like buy donut holes to drive home with, or like 10 Rice Krispie, like the Mickey Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah.
Because we would have like quote unquote 9 people staying in our room.
Yeah.
So we would get like 9 snacks a day.
Nice.
Yeah. So like
love that.
So like in the parks, you can just like walk up to a stand and be like, I'm gonna need a Mickey bar, please. And just, like that's my snack. And back in the day, swipe your card.
Yeah. Oh
Good
my
times.
God.
Yeah.
Should we put this part to a halt and then we'll move on to him as an adult?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Jonathan,
as an adult,
thank you. It's been real. It's been real for part 1.
Yeah. Thanks for telling us about your
childhood. Yes.
Absolutely.
But part 2, we're gonna talk about Jonathan as an adult. Adult Jonathan. So
who's that and where are they arriving?
All right, so
Jonathan through the years, part 2 coming up. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate all your support. Please leave us a review and/or rating on your favorite podcast platform.
You can find us on Instagram and Facebook under Parks and Pixie Dust Podcast. We are also on Twitter and TikTok under Parks and Pixie Dust. Give us a follow and stay tuned for lots of updates.
And you can also email us at parksandpixiedustpodcast@gmail.com.
Our episodes come out weekly on Wednesdays.